Nothing like teaching algebra to kids who think TikTok is a career path. I'm Greg Blair, 43 years old, and I've been explaining the Pythagorean theorem to teenagers who'd rather calculate their Snapchat streaks than solve for x. But hey, at least the job pays enough to keep our fixer-upper house from falling down completely. My wife Cara thinks I'm wasting my potential. She tells me this while scrolling through her phone at breakfast, her manicured nails clicking against the screen like tiny hammers. Greg, you could be making real money in private tutoring, she says without looking up. Or maybe get into real estate with me. Real estate, right. Because watching Cara transform from the sweet girl I married into someone who measures success by square footage and commission checks has been such a joy. I like teaching, I tell her, buttering my toast. Someone has to explain why math matters. Math matters when it makes money, she replies, finally glancing up. Her blonde hair is perfectly styled, even at 7 in the morning. When did she start waking up earlier than me? Troy says the market's booming right now. Troy Mason, her broker. The guy with the red Mustang who treats every handshake like a power play and every conversation like a sales pitch. I've met him exactly 3 times, and each time he's managed to work his gym routine into the discussion within 5 minutes. Troy says a lot of things, I mutter. Cara's phone buzzes. She grabs it immediately, her face lighting up in a way that used to be reserved for me. Her fingers fly across the screen, typing what looks like a novel. Work stuff, she explains. Not that I asked. Our daughter Maddie shuffles into the kitchen, 17 and armed with the kind of sarcasm that makes me proud. Morning, parental units. Dad, your coffee smells like burnt dreams. And Mom, your phone is literally smoking from overuse. Very funny, Cara says, finally putting the device down. Some of us have important clients to manage. And some of us have to pretend teenagers care about quadratic equations, I add, raising my mug in a mock toast. Maddie grins. At least Dad's students only ignore him for 50 minutes at a time. Mom's phone gets ignored for never. It's a joke, but it hits different. Because Maddie's right. Cara's phone has become an extension of her hand. She caresses it more than she touches me. Late-night work calls that require her to step outside. Weekend open houses that somehow last until midnight. Text messages that make her smile in ways I haven't seen directed at me in months. But I'm probably overthinking it. Marriage gets comfortable after 17 years, right? People change. Priorities shift. It's normal. At least, that's what I tell myself as I drive to Jefferson High School, past the construction sites and empty lots that Cara calls development opportunities, and I call more places for kids to get into trouble. Ray Kowalski is already mopping the main hallway when I arrive. He's been the head janitor here for 20 years, knows every secret this place holds, and makes coffee strong enough to wake the dead. Morning, Professor, he says, wringing out his mop. You look like someone stole your lunch money. Just thinking about the joys of marriage, Ray. He laughs, but there's something knowing in his eyes. Ray sees everything in this building. Teachers sneaking cigarettes. Students passing notes. Administrators padding their expense reports. Nothing gets by him. Speaking of marriage, he says, lowering his voice, my wife was at Rossetti's last night. Saw your missus there with that real estate guy, the one with the fancy car. My stomach tightens. Business dinner, probably. Probably, Ray agrees, but his tone suggests otherwise. They looked real focused on business. I want to ask what he means, but Principal O'Hara's voice echoes down the hallway. Blair, my office, 5 minutes. Ray gives me a sympathetic look. Good luck, Professor. Principal O'Hara is a hard-ass who runs Jefferson High like a military base. Her office walls are covered with motivational posters that somehow manage to be both inspiring and threatening. Hang in there, featuring a kitten clinging to a branch, right next to Excellence is Not Optional, with a photo of Mount Everest. Greg, we need to talk about your test scores, she says, without preamble. The district is breathing down my neck about math proficiency. The kids are improving, I tell her, slowly, but they're getting there. Slowly doesn't cut it anymore. We need results or we need changes. Changes. In education speak, that means budget cuts and pink slips. I've seen good teachers disappear because their students couldn't perform miracles on standardized tests. I understand, I say. Though what I understand is that everything stable in my life seems to be shifting. The day drags on. First period. Explaining why you can't divide by zero to kids who think rules are suggestions. Third period. Watching Jenny Martinez actually grasp the concept of slope while Tommy Patterson tries to calculate how many energy drinks he can buy with his allowance. Fifth period. Breaking up a fight between two seniors who couldn't solve their problems with words, let alone with algebra. By the time the final bell rings, I'm exhausted. But instead of heading home, I sit in my empty classroom, staring at the whiteboard covered in equations that suddenly seem less reliable than they used to be. My phone buzzes. A text from Cara. Working late tonight. Don't wait up. Another buzz. This time, it's a photo from Maddie. Her attempt at making dinner, which looks like pasta mixed with what might be marinara sauce or crime scene evidence. Dad, your cooking skills are apparently genetic. Send help or pizza money. I smile for the first time all day. Whatever's happening with Cara, at least Maddie and I still understand each other. I'm packing up my things when my phone buzzes again. But this time, it's not for me. Cara's phone is sitting on my desk. She must have left it behind when she stopped by earlier to grab something from my classroom. The screen lights up with a notification, and I can't help but see the preview. Troy. Can't wait to see you again tonight. He'll never know. I stare at the message until the screen goes dark, my reflection staring back at me from the black glass. The phone buzzes again, and another message appears. Troy, kiss. Meet me at our usual spot. I've been thinking about you all day. Our usual spot. He's been thinking about her all day. The pieces click together like a math proof I didn't want to solve. The late nights, the secretive texts, the way she lights up when her phone buzzes, the business dinner Ray's wife saw. I pick up Cara's phone, and for once, luck is on my side. She forgot to lock it. The message thread with Troy goes back months. Photos I don't want to see. Plans I don't want to read. Conversations about me that make my chest tight with a mixture of rage and humiliation. Greg's so clueless, one message reads. He actually believes I'm working late. Poor guy, Troy replies. Maybe we should put him out of his misery. Not yet. I need to figure out the house situation first. Can't afford to lose everything in a divorce. The house situation. Our house. The one I've spent 5 years fixing up. Replacing every broken board and leaky pipe. The one where Maddie learned to ride her bike in the driveway, and where Cara and I used to sit on the porch swing, planning our future. I scroll through more messages, each one a small knife twist. They're not just having an affair, they're planning. Troy's been helping Cara hide money in separate accounts. They've discussed selling the house without telling me. There are messages about taking Maddie, about starting fresh somewhere new. They want to erase me completely. My hands are shaking as I forward the most damning messages to my own phone. Evidence. Because if 17 years of marriage have taught me anything, it's that Cara is very good at making things my fault. But not this time. I delete the forwarded message notifications from her phone, lock it, and place it back on my desk, exactly where she left it. Then I sit back in my chair and do what I do best. Solve problems, step by step. Problem. My wife is cheating on me with her business partner and planning to steal my life. Variables. Cara's reputation, Troy's ego, Maddie's future, my own sanity. Solution. Unknown, but I'm about to figure it out. The janitor's cart squeaks past my door, and Ray pokes his head in. You okay, Professor? You look like you've seen a ghost. Just grading papers, I tell him. You know how it is. Sometimes the answers aren't what you expect. He nods, sympathetically. Want some advice from an old married guy? Sure. When life gives you lemons, don't make lemonade. Find out who's been stealing your lemons and make them pay for it. I laugh, despite everything. That's very philosophical, Ray. 20 years of cleaning up other people's messes teaches you things, he says with a shrug. See you tomorrow, Professor. After he leaves, I sit alone in the growing darkness, my classroom illuminated only by the hallway lights spilling through the door. Somewhere across town, my wife is meeting her lover, probably laughing about how easy it is to fool the boring math teacher. But here's the thing about math teachers. We're very good at calculating consequences, and Cara's about to learn that some equations have solutions she never saw coming. The next morning, I wake up before my alarm. Cara's side of the bed is cold, which means she either came home very late or not at all. I find her in the kitchen, fully dressed and scrolling through her phone with a cup of coffee that's already half empty. "Morning," she says without looking up. "I got home around midnight. Big client meeting ran long." "Must have been some meeting," I say, pouring my own coffee. "Troy's a dedicated broker." She glances up sharply, but I keep my expression neutral. "How did you know Troy was there?" "Lucky guess. You two seem to work together a lot lately." "He's my business partner, Greg." "Of course we work together. Business partner. Right. Is that what they're calling it now?" Maddie stumbles in, looking like she wrestled with her pillow and lost. "Morning, family unit." "Dad, please tell me you're making pancakes to compensate for whatever weird tension is happening in here." "No weird tension," Cara says quickly. "Just discussing work." "Mom's always discussing work," Maddie observes, grabbing a piece of toast. "It's like she's married to her phone instead of Dad." The comment hangs in the air like smoke. Cara's jaw tightens, and I can see her fighting the urge to snap at our daughter. "Some of us have to work hard to maintain our lifestyle," Cara says finally. "And some of us work hard to maintain our sanity," I reply, earning a snort of laughter from Maddie. After they leave, Cara to show a property and Maddie to school, I sit alone in my kitchen and plan my next move. I'm not the type to confront without evidence. 17 years of marriage to someone who can twist any argument in her favor has taught me to be thorough. First stop, Best Buy. I tell the teenage clerk I want to track my family's phones for safety reasons, which isn't technically a lie. He sets me up with a family tracking app that requires access to each device. The hard part will be installing it on Cara's phone without her noticing. Fortunately, I know my wife's habits. Every morning, she showers for exactly 23 minutes. It's like clockwork. The next morning, while the bathroom fills with steam and the sound of Cara's expensive shampoo routine, I grab her phone from the nightstand. My hands shake as I download the tracking app and adjust her settings. 23 minutes feels like 23 seconds when you're committing what technically amounts to digital espionage against your own wife. I'm back in bed, pretending to sleep, when she emerges, wrapped in a towel that probably costs more than my weekly grocery budget. "You're up early," she observes, grabbing her phone. "Couldn't sleep. Too much coffee yesterday." She scrolls through her notifications, frowning slightly. For a moment, I think she's noticed something different, but then her expression clears. "I've got 3 showings today," she says, selecting an outfit from the closet we used to share but now feels divided down an invisible line. Her side. Designer clothes and shoes that could fund a small country. My side. Khakis and button-down shirts that scream, high school teacher trying his best. "Busy day," I comment. "The market's hot right now. Troy says we need to strike while the iron's on fire." I think the expression is strike while the iron is hot. She pauses, one leg in her designer jeans. "What?" "Nothing. Just, never mind." But I file it away. Cara used to be sharp, quick-witted, the kind of person who caught other people's mistakes. Now she's making errors that suggest her mind is elsewhere. Or on someone else. After she leaves, I test the tracking app. It works perfectly. I can see her phone's location in real time, complete with timestamps and duration of stays. It's like having a window into her secret life. The technology feels invasive and necessary in equal measure. Part of me wants to delete the app and pretend everything is normal. But the rational part of my brain, the part that solves equations and believes in evidence, knows I need proof before I act. At school, I'm distracted during first period. While explaining linear equations, I'm thinking about the nonlinear path my marriage has taken. The irony isn't lost on me. "Mr. Blair?" Jenny Martinez raises her hand. "Are you okay? You just said that X equals heartbreak." The class laughs, and I realize I've been projecting my personal problems onto the whiteboard. Sorry, everyone. Let me recalculate that. During lunch, I check the tracking app. Cara's phone shows she's been at the same location for 2 hours, 1247 Maple Street. According to the real estate website, it's a luxury condo complex. According to my rapidly breaking heart, it's probably where Troy lives. Ray finds me in the faculty lounge, staring at my phone with what must be a grim expression. "You look like someone told you the cafeteria is serving mystery meat again," he says, settling into the chair across from me. "Ray, can I ask you something? Off the record?" "Shoot. If you suspected your wife was cheating, what would you do?" He's quiet for a long moment, stirring sugar into his coffee with the deliberate care of someone who's thought about this question before. "Depends," he says finally. "You want to save the marriage or save yourself?" "What's the difference?" Saving the marriage means counseling, forgiveness, working through the pain together. Saving yourself means gathering evidence and protecting what matters most. What matters most? Your kid, your dignity, your future. I nod slowly. What if those things are all tied together? Then you better be real careful about your next move, Professor, because once you pull that thread, the whole sweater unravels. The afternoon drags. During fifth period, while my students work on practice problems, I find myself sketching out a different kind of equation on scratch paper. Marriage plus betrayal plus evidence equals question mark. The solution isn't clear yet, but I'm starting to see the variables. After school, I drive past 1247 Maple Street. It's a sleek, modern complex with a parking garage and a doorman. Troy's red Mustang is parked in a visitor's spot, right next to Cara's silver BMW. They're not even trying to be discreet. I park across the street and wait. 47 minutes later, they emerge together. Troy has his hand on the small of Cara's back, the same way I used to guide her through crowded restaurants when we were young and still believed in forever. They stand by their cars, talking and laughing about something that makes Cara throw her head back in delight. When was the last time I made her laugh like that? When was the last time she looked at me the way she's looking at him right now? Troy pulls her close and kisses her. Not a quick peck, but a full, passionate kiss that belongs in movies, or memories of what Cara and I used to have. She melts into him like butter on warm toast, her hands tangled in his perfectly styled hair. I take photos with my phone, hating myself for becoming the kind of person who documents his wife's betrayal from across the street. But evidence is evidence, and Ray's words echo in my head. Protect what matters most. They separate, and Cara checks her watch. She says something that makes Troy laugh, then gets in her car. I follow at a distance as she drives home, probably preparing whatever lie she'll tell me about her day. I beat her home by 10 minutes, just enough time to pour myself a beer and pretend I've been grading papers at the kitchen table. "How was your day?" she asks, breezing in with shopping bags from stores I can't afford. The usual. Teenage angst and algebraic confusion. "You?" "Great. Showed 3 properties, got 2 solid leads, and had a productive meeting with Troy about expanding our client base." Productive meeting. That's one way to describe making out in a parking garage. "Sounds like business is booming," I say. It really is. She starts pulling items from her shopping bags. Expensive skincare products, a new dress with tags that make my teacher salary weep, shoes that cost more than my car payment. Troy thinks we should consider opening a second office. That's ambitious. He's very ambitious. It's one of his best qualities. I bet it is. Maddie joins us for dinner, regaling us with stories from her day while Cara checks her phone every few minutes. Each buzz makes her smile in a way that feels like a small betrayal. "Earth to Mom," Maddie says after Cara ignores a direct question about weekend plans. "Your phone is not more interesting than your daughter." "Sorry, honey. Just work stuff." "It's always work stuff," Maddie mutters, and I see a flash of hurt in her eyes that makes my chest tight. After dinner, Cara announces she's going upstairs to, quote, catch up on paperwork. I volunteer to do the dishes, which gives me time to think and plan. My phone buzzes with a text from an unknown number. "This is Troy. Cara gave me your number. Looking forward to meeting you properly soon. We should grab a beer and talk business." The audacity is breathtaking. He's sleeping with my wife and wants to grab a beer. Either he's incredibly stupid or incredibly confident. Maybe both. I don't respond. Instead, I check the tracking app. Cara's phone is upstairs in our bedroom, but she's been texting Troy for the past 20 minutes. The messages I can see through their previous thread make my stomach churn. Can't wait for tomorrow night. I told Greg I'm showing the Henderson property. "Your husband seems like a nice guy. Almost feel bad for him." Don't. He's been checked out for years. This is just making it official. Checked out. Is that how she sees our marriage? While I've been working to keep us stable, to provide for our family, to be the reliable foundation she could build her dreams on, she's seen it as me checking out. Maybe she's right. Maybe I have been coasting, assuming that steady and dependable were enough. Maybe, while I was solving other people's problems, I stopped paying attention to the equation that mattered most. But it's too late for self-reflection now. The damage is done, and the only question left is how to respond. I finish the dishes and join Cara upstairs. She's in bed, laptop open, supposedly working on client files, but I can see the reflection in her reading glasses. She's shopping online for lingerie. Big day tomorrow? I ask, settling into bed with a book I won't actually read. The Henderson showing might run late, so don't wait up. The Henderson property. Right. I make a mental note to look up the address and see if it actually exists. No problem. I'll probably work on that treehouse for Maddie. Cara glances over. She's 17, Greg. Don't you think she's outgrown treehouses? It's never too late to build something that lasts, I say, and I'm not talking about treehouses anymore. She doesn't respond, already lost in whatever fantasy she's shopping for. I lie in the dark next to my wife, listening to her breathe, and realize that this might be one of the last nights we share a bed as a married couple. The thought should make me sad, but instead, I feel something unexpected. Relief. Because now I know where I stand. Now I can stop wondering and start planning. And Greg Blair, high school math teacher and apparently soon-to-be ex-husband, is very good at planning. The Henderson property doesn't exist. I spend my lunch break on Thursday confirming what I already suspected. There's no listing, no address, no client by that name in Cara's agency database. She's not even trying to make her lies believable anymore. That evening, she follows her script perfectly. Working late tonight, honey. The Henderson showing is at 7, and you know how these things can run long. Of course, I say, kissing her cheek like a good, oblivious husband. Drive safe. She leaves at 6:30, dressed in an outfit that definitely wasn't chosen for showing real estate to imaginary clients. I wait 15 minutes, then check the tracking app. She's heading toward Troy's condo complex, just as I expected. Maddie's at her friend Sarah's house working on a history project, which gives me the evening to execute the next phase of my plan. I've been thinking about Ray's advice. Protect what matters most. My daughter's future matters. My dignity matters. And if Cara wants to blow up our marriage, she's going to face the consequences. I drive to the Last Call, a dive bar downtown where the drinks are cheap and the gossip flows freely. It's the kind of place where real estate agents celebrate big sales and complain about difficult clients. More importantly, it's where Cara and Troy have been meeting for drinks, according to the timestamps on my tracking app. The bartender is a guy named Mike, who looks like he's heard every sob story in the book and believed none of them. I order a beer and settle in to wait. They arrive at 8:15, laughing and touching each other in ways that make my chest tight. They choose a booth in the back corner, probably thinking they're being discreet. But the Last Call isn't exactly a 5-star establishment, and their voices carry. I position myself at the bar where I can hear everything while appearing to watch the basketball game on the TV above the bottles. Can't believe how easy this has been, Troy is saying. Your husband really doesn't suspect anything? Greg's completely clueless, Cara replies, and I can hear the smile in her voice. He's so wrapped up in his little teacher world that he doesn't notice anything happening in the real world. Poor guy. Must be tough being married to someone so limited. Limited. That's a new one. You have no idea, Cara continues. Do you know what he said when I suggested he get into real estate? He said he likes teaching. As if liking something is more important than making money. Different priorities, I guess. Completely different. You understand ambition, Troy. You understand that life is about more than just getting by. Greg's perfectly happy in his little bubble, teaching algebra to kids who don't care and coming home to the same routine every night. I take a long sip of my beer and pull out my phone. The voice memo app is already recording. So what's the timeline? Troy asks. When do we make this official? Soon. I need to figure out the house situation first. It's in both our names, but I've been making most of the payments since my real estate career took off. I think I can get a good settlement. What about your daughter? Maddie will understand, eventually. She's smart, and she can see that her father and I aren't happy together. It'll be better for everyone in the long run. Better for everyone. Right. And after the divorce? We can finally stop sneaking around. Maybe take that trip to Costa Rica we talked about. Start fresh somewhere new. Costa Rica. They've been planning vacations together while I've been planning lessons and trying to keep our family intact. I love the sound of that, Troy says, and I can hear the clink of glasses as they toast their future together. I've heard enough. I finish my beer, pay my tab, and walk out into the cool evening air. My hands are shaking, but not from anger, from anticipation. Because now I have everything I need. The next morning is Saturday, which means Cara sleeps in while I make breakfast for Maddie. She stumbles downstairs in pajamas and bedhead, looking like a younger version of her mother before Cara discovered expensive hair products and designer everything. "Dad, your pancakes smell like heaven," she says, settling at the kitchen table. "Where's Mom?" "Still sleeping. She had a late night with work." Maddie rolls her eyes. She's always having late nights with work. When's the last time she was home for dinner 2 nights in a row? It's a good question. I can't remember. People have different ways of contributing to the family, I say, though the words taste like ash. Yeah, well, her way seems to involve being somewhere else most of the time. Smart kid. Too smart for her own good. After breakfast, I help Maddie with her college application essays while Cara finally emerges, looking perfectly put together, despite allegedly just waking up. "Morning, family," she says, pouring herself coffee. "What's everyone up to today?" "Dad's helping me with my essays," Maddie says. "We're working on the one about overcoming challenges." "That's nice. I have to show a property this afternoon, but maybe we can do something together tomorrow." Another property. Another lie. I check my phone discreetly and see that she's already been texting Troy about meeting up later. "Actually," I say, setting down my coffee cup, "I was thinking we should have a family meeting tonight. All of us together, no distractions." Cara's smile falters slightly. A family meeting? About what? Just family stuff. Communication. Plans for the future. Making sure we're all on the same page. "I might be late tonight, Greg. This client is very demanding." "Then we'll wait for you. Some things are more important than work." There's a moment of tension, and I can see Cara calculating her options. Maddie looks between. "Fine," Cara says finally, "but let's keep it short. I'm tired. I bet you are." That afternoon, while Cara is at her showing, actually at Troy's condo according to my tracking app, I prepare for the evening's main event. I create a group text that includes Cara, her mother, her sister, my parents, and our closest family friends. The message is simple. Family update, tonight at 8 p.m. Important news to share. Then I wait. Cara comes home at 6, flustered and checking her phone constantly. "Greg, what's this about a family update? My mom's been calling me all afternoon." "Just thought it was time to be more open about what's happening in our lives," I say. "More transparent." "Transparent about what?" "You'll see." Dinner is tense. Maddie keeps looking between us like she's watching a tennis match, and Cara barely touches her food. Her phone buzzes constantly, and I can see Troy's name on the screen each time. At 8 o'clock sharp, I gather my family in the living room. Cara sits on the edge of the couch, looking like she wants to bolt. Maddie curls up in the armchair, sensing drama. "So," I begin, holding my phone, "I wanted to share something with everyone about honesty and marriage, and what happens when people think they're smarter than they actually are." "Greg," Cara says sharply, "what are you doing?" "I'm being transparent, like you suggested. Starting with this. I play the recording from the last call. Cara's voice fills the room, crystal clear and utterly damning. Greg's completely clueless, perfectly happy in his little bubble. It'll be better for everyone in the long run." The color drains from Cara's face. "You recorded me? You followed me?" "I documented the truth. There's a difference." Maddie's eyes are wide. "Mom, is this real?" Before Cara can answer, my phone starts buzzing with responses to the group text I sent, along with the audio file. Her mother's voice comes through first. "Cara Marie, what is this nonsense?" Then her sister. "Are you kidding me right now?" My own parents, more diplomatic but clearly shocked. "We need to talk." "You sent this to everyone?" Cara's voice is shrill. "Now. To my family? To your parents? I thought they should know what's happening. Transparency, remember? This is insane, Greg. You can't just... Can't just what? Tell the truth? Share the facts? Isn't that what you've been doing with Troy? Being honest about how limited and clueless your husband is. Maddie stands up abruptly. I can't. I need some air. She heads for the back door, and I follow her onto the porch. She's crying, which breaks something inside me that I didn't know was still whole. Dad, is Mom really... Yeah, kiddo. She is. For how long? I don't know. A while. She wipes her eyes with the back of her hand. Are you getting divorced? Probably. Good. The word surprises me. Good? Dad, she's been treating you like crap for months. Maybe years. I see how she talks to you, how she acts like everything you do is wrong or boring or not good enough. You deserve better. From the mouths of babes. What about you? Are you okay with all this? I'm 17, not 7. I can handle my parents getting divorced. What I can't handle is watching my mom lie to my dad and pretend everything's fine. We sit on the porch swing I built 3 summers ago, listening to the sound of Cara's voice through the open window as she tries to do damage control with her family. Her phone hasn't stopped ringing. Dad? Yeah? For what it's worth, I think you're pretty smart, and anyone who thinks teaching isn't important is an idiot. I put my arm around my daughter and realize that no matter what else falls apart, I've still got the thing that matters most. Inside, Cara is pacing the living room, her phone pressed to her ear. Mom, I can explain. No, it's not what it sounds like. Yes, I know how it looks. When she sees me come back in, she ends the call and turns on me with fury I haven't seen since she was in labor with Maddie. How could you do this to me? To us. You've humiliated me in front of everyone we know. I've humiliated you? Cara, you've been cheating on me for months. You've been planning to leave me, take our daughter, and start a new life with your business partner. But I'm the one who's humiliated you? It's not that simple. It seems pretty simple to me. You wanted out of our marriage but didn't have the courage to say so. Instead, you decided to sneak around, lie to my face, and make me feel like I was crazy for noticing that something was wrong. I was going to tell you. When? After you'd already moved to Costa Rica? Her face goes white. How do you know about Costa Rica? The same way I know about Troy's condo and the fake Henderson property and all the other lies you've been telling. I may be a boring high school teacher, Cara, but I'm not stupid. She collapses onto the couch, her perfect composure finally cracking. What do you want from me, Greg? I want you to stop lying. To me, to Maddie, to yourself. If you want a divorce, we'll get a divorce. If you want to be with Troy, go be with Troy. But stop pretending this is somehow my fault for being limited or clueless. My phone buzzes with another message. This one from Troy himself. We need to talk. This has gotten out of hand. I show the screen to Cara. Looks like your boyfriend wants to chat. Should I invite him over? Make this a real family meeting? Don't you dare. Why not? Isn't he part of the family now? Part of your future plans? She doesn't answer, just stares at her hands like they hold the solution to problems she created. I'll make this easy for you, Cara. Tomorrow morning, you can pack your things and go stay wherever you want. We'll figure out the legal stuff later. But tonight, I want you to look your daughter in the eye and explain why blowing up her family was worth it for a guy with a red Mustang and a gym membership. I leave her sitting there and go find Maddie, who's in her room with headphones on, probably trying to drown out the sound of our marriage ending. But as I lie in bed that night, listening to Cara cry in the guest room, I don't feel victorious. I feel tired and sad and strangely relieved. Because for the first time in months, everyone knows the truth. And the truth, however painful, is always better than living a lie. Monday morning arrives with the subtlety of a freight train. I wake up to find Cara's side of the bed empty and her car gone from the driveway. She left a note on the kitchen counter. Staying at my sister's. We'll talk when you're ready to be reasonable. Reasonable. After months of lies and betrayal, she wants me to be reasonable. Maddie finds the note while making coffee. So she just left? Looks like it. Without even saying goodbye to me? The hurt in her voice makes my jaw clench. Whatever Cara's done to me is one thing, but abandoning Maddie without explanation crosses a line I didn't know existed. I'm sorry, kiddo. That's not fair to you. It's okay, Dad. I kind of expected it. She crumples the note and tosses it in the trash. So what happens now? Now, we figure out how to move forward, together. At school, the gossip mill is already churning. Small towns don't keep secrets well. And the audio recording I shared with family apparently made its way to a wider audience. Ray greets me at the front door with a knowing look. Morning, Professor. How you holding up? Better than expected, actually. Good for you. About time someone called out the cheaters in this town. Word travels fast. Faster than Troy's Mustang, apparently. Speaking of which, you might want to avoid the teacher's lounge today. Mrs. Patterson's been holding court about appropriate behavior and setting examples for students. Mrs. Patterson teaches home economics and has opinions about everyone's personal life. She's also been divorced 3 times, which gives her commentary a certain ironic flavor. Thanks for the heads up. Any time. And, Professor, for what it's worth, most of us think you handled it exactly right. The day passes in a blur of whispered conversations and sympathetic looks. Some colleagues avoid me entirely, uncomfortable with the messy reality of a marriage imploding. Others go out of their way to offer support. Principal O'Hara calls me into her office during lunch. Greg, I need to ask if this situation is going to affect your job performance. No, ma'am. If anything, I'll probably be more focused now. Good, because I'm getting calls from parents asking about the drama with Mr. Blair, I need to know you can keep your personal life separate from your professional responsibilities. Absolutely. My students won't be affected by this. See that they're not. The last thing this district needs is more negative attention. I want to point out that I'm the victim here, not the perpetrator. But arguing with O'Hara is like trying to solve calculus with crayons. Technically possible, but ultimately pointless. After school, I drive past Cara's real estate office. Her BMW is in the parking lot, along with Troy's Mustang. Through the window, I can see them in what appears to be an intense conversation. Damage control, probably. Trying to figure out how to salvage their professional relationship now that their personal one is public knowledge. I park across the street and call the office number. Pinnacle Realty, this is Jenna. Hi, Jenna. This is Greg Blair. I need to speak with my wife about some urgent financial documents. Oh, Mr. Blair. I'm so sorry, but Mrs. Blair is in a meeting right now. Can I take a message? Actually, could you just let her know I'm outside? It'll just take a minute. Through the window, I watch Jenna walk over to Cara's desk. Cara looks up, sees me across the street, and her face hardens. She shakes her head at Jenna, who returns to the phone. I'm sorry, Mr. Blair. She says she'll call you later. No problem. Tell her I'll wait. I settle in for what might be a long afternoon. But 15 minutes later, a silver sedan pulls into the parking lot. A woman in a business suit gets out and marches into the office with the purposeful stride of someone carrying bad news. Through the window, I watch the woman approach Cara's desk. Whatever she says makes Cara's face go pale. Troy stands up from his chair, gesturing animatedly. The woman, who I now recognize as Sandra Wells, the office manager, shakes her head firmly. 5 minutes later, Cara emerges from the building carrying a cardboard box. Her face is red, and she's clearly fighting back tears. Troy follows her out, trying to put his hand on her shoulder, but she shrugs him off. They have a heated conversation by their cars. I can't hear the words, but the body language is clear. Whatever just happened inside, it wasn't good news for either of them. Cara gets in her BMW and drives off without looking back. Troy stands in the parking lot for a moment, running his hands through his perfectly styled hair, then gets in his Mustang and follows her. I call Jenna back. Pinnacle Realty, this is... Jenna, it's Greg Blair again. Is my wife still available? There's a pause. Mr. Blair, I'm afraid Mrs. Blair is no longer with the company. As of when? As of about 10 minutes ago. I probably shouldn't be telling you this, but there were some complaints from clients about her recent behavior. Management felt it was best if she pursued other opportunities. Complaints about her recent behavior. In other words, the audio recording made its way to her clients, and they weren't impressed with her commentary about her personal life. What about Troy Mason? Another pause. Mr. Mason is also exploring new opportunities. They both got fired. The affair that was supposed to be their path to success just cost them their careers. I thank Jenna and drive home. where I find Maddie doing homework at the kitchen table. "How was school?" I ask. "Weird. Everyone kept asking me about you and Mom." I told them it wasn't their business, but you know how teenagers are. "I'm sorry you had to deal with that. It's fine. Sarah's parents got divorced last year, so she gave me some tips on handling the gossip. Mostly just ignore it and let people find something else to talk about. Smart kid. Dad, can I ask you something? Always. Are you going to try to get back at Mom? Like, really get back at her? It's a fair question." "What do you mean?" "I don't know. Make her life difficult. Fight over money. Try to keep her from seeing me. Stuff like that." I sit down across from her. "Maddie, I'm angry at your mom. Really angry. But I'm not going to use you as a weapon against her, and I'm not going to try to destroy her life. She's still your mother." "Even after what she did?" "Even after what she did. My job is to protect you and make sure you have a stable home. Everything else is just noise." She nods, but I can see she's not entirely convinced. And honestly, neither am I. Because that night, as I'm grading papers and trying to pretend my life isn't falling apart, my phone buzzes with a text from an unknown number. "This is Troy. We need to talk. What you did today cost us both our jobs." This has gone too far. I stare at the message for a long moment, then type back. "You cost yourselves your jobs. I just provided the truth. Meet me tomorrow night. The last call, 8 p.m. We can settle this like adults." "There's nothing to settle. You're sleeping with my wife. I exposed it. End of story." "There's more you don't know. About Cara? About the money? About what she's been planning? You want the whole truth? Meet me. The whole truth. What else could there be?" Against my better judgment, I type back, "Fine, 8 p.m. But this better not be some kind of setup." It's not. I think you and I got played by the same person. I set the phone down and stare at the ceiling. What could Troy possibly tell me that would make this situation more complicated than it already is? But I'm a math teacher. I believe in solving for all variables, even the ones that might hurt. Especially the ones that might hurt. The last call looks different on Tuesday night. The same dim lighting and sticky floors, but now it feels like a courtroom where I'm about to hear testimony that might change everything. Troy is already there when I arrive, sitting in the same booth where he and Cara planned their future together. He looks like hell, unshaven, wrinkled clothes, the kind of desperate exhaustion that comes from watching your life implode in real time. "Thanks for coming," he says, as I slide into the booth across from him. Talk. He signals the bartender for 2 beers, then leans forward. "First, I want you to know I'm sorry. Not for getting involved with Cara. That happened, and I can't take it back. But for the way it happened, for the lies and the sneaking around." "Is that what you wanted to tell me?" Because I could have gotten that in a text. "No." He runs his hands through his hair. "Greg, your wife has been playing both of us." "Meaning?" "Meaning she's been planning this divorce for a lot longer than either of us realized." "And the affair?" "It wasn't some passionate romance that got out of hand. It was calculated." The beers arrive, and Troy takes a long drink before continuing. 3 months ago, Cara approached me about a business opportunity. Said she wanted to expand her client base, maybe open her own agency. She was charming, ambitious, exactly the kind of partner I thought I wanted. Get to the point. The point is, she seduced me as part of a plan. She needed someone with connections. Someone who could help her establish financial independence before she filed for divorce. The affair was just a bonus. I feel something cold settle in my stomach. "You're saying she used you?" "I'm saying she used both of us. You were the stable husband, providing security, while she built her exit strategy. I was the business partner who could help her transition to single life with money in the bank." "What money?" Troy pulls out his phone and shows me a bank statement. She's been skimming from joint client accounts. Small amounts. Nothing that would trigger an audit. But it adds up. Look at these transfers. The numbers make my head spin. Over the past 6 months, Cara has been moving money from various accounts into a personal savings account I didn't know existed. Thousands of dollars that should have been reported as joint income. She told me it was for future business investments, Troy continues. I helped her set up the accounts, thinking we were building something together. But yesterday, after we both got fired, I tried to access the accounts. They're all in her name only. I can't touch a penny. So she played you too. Completely. And there's more. He shows me another document. She's been working with a lawyer for 2 months, filed preliminary divorce papers, had the house appraised, even looked into getting primary custody of Maddie. The room tilts slightly. Custody? She told the lawyer you were emotionally distant and potentially unstable. Said she was concerned about your ability to provide a stable environment for your daughter. My hands clench into fists. She was going to try to take Maddie away from me. That was the plan. Paint you as an unfit father. Take half the assets, plus alimony and child support. Then disappear with me to start fresh somewhere else. Costa Rica. You knew about that? I heard you talking about it. Troy laughs bitterly. Yeah, well, turns out that was just another lie. She never intended to take me with her. I was just a useful idiot who could help her get the money and connections she needed. I stare at the documents, trying to process the scope of Cara's deception. It wasn't just an affair. It was a complete dismantling of our life together, planned and executed with surgical precision. Why are you telling me this? I ask. Because she screwed us both, and I figure you deserve to know what you're really up against. Also, he hesitates. I might need your help. My help with what? Some of those money transfers? They went through accounts with my name on them. If she decides to claim I was embezzling, I could go to prison. The pieces click together. Cara didn't just plan to leave me. She planned to destroy both of us if we got in her way. Troy was never her escape plan. He was her fall guy. What do you want from me? Help me prove that she initiated all the financial stuff, that I was just following her instructions. In exchange, I'll give you everything I have on her plans. The lawyer documents, the bank records, all of it. It's a devil's bargain, but the alternative is letting Cara get away with stealing my daughter and my future. Deal, I say. We shake hands across the table. Two men who've been thoroughly outmaneuvered by someone we thought we knew. So what now? Troy asks. Now we give her exactly what she's been planning for. The next morning, I call in sick to work and drive to the law offices of Patterson, Blake & Associates, the same firm Cara's been secretly working with. I request a meeting with her lawyer, a sharp-eyed woman named Rebecca Patterson who looks like she could negotiate peace treaties or hostile takeovers with equal efficiency. Mr. Blair, she says, settling behind her desk, I have to say this is unusual. Typically, spouses don't share legal representation. I'm not here about representation. I'm here about fraud. I spread Troy's documents across her desk. Bank statements, transfer records, email communications showing Cara's systematic movement of money into accounts I never knew existed. Your client has been hiding assets and planning to commit perjury in divorce proceedings, I say. I thought you should know before you file anything that could make you complicit. Patterson studies the documents with the careful attention of someone who recognizes potential malpractice issues. These accounts... Mrs. Blair told me these were business investments from before your marriage. Check the dates. Every transfer happened in the last 6 months, all from joint accounts or client escrow funds. She's quiet for a long time, reviewing the evidence. Finally, she looks up. Mr. Blair, I'm going to need to withdraw from representing your wife. There appear to be some discrepancies in the information she provided. I understand, but before you do, I'd like to know about her custody plans. I can't discuss. She was going to claim I'm an unfit father. Use that to justify taking my daughter away from the only stable home she's ever known. I think I have a right to know what I'm defending against. Patterson sighs. Off the record? Your wife painted a very different picture of your marriage. She claimed you were controlling, possibly abusive, definitely neglectful of your daughter's needs. And you believed her? I believed my client. That's what lawyers do. But looking at this evidence, she taps the documents. It appears your wife has been less than truthful about several things. I gather up the papers. When you withdraw from her case, will you tell her why? I'll tell her there's a conflict of interest. What she does with that information is up to her. I leave the law office feeling like I've just defused a bomb I didn't know was ticking. But the hardest part is still ahead. That evening, Cara finally comes home. She walks into the kitchen where Maddie and I are eating dinner, looking like she's preparing for battle. We need to talk, she announces. Sure, I say. Maddie, why don't you go upstairs and finish your homework? Actually, I think Maddie should hear this too, Cara says. It affects her future. Maddie looks between us nervously. Do I have to? Yes, Cara says firmly. Sit down. My daughter reluctantly takes her seat, and Cara begins what sounds like a prepared speech. Maddie, your father and I are getting divorced. That's not a surprise to anyone at this point, but what you need to understand is that I'm going to be fighting for primary custody. What does that mean? Maddie asks. It means you'll live with me most of the time. Your father will have visitation rights, but your primary home will be with me. Where? Maddie's voice is small. I'm not sure yet. Probably somewhere with better opportunities than this town can offer. I watch my daughter's face crumble and feel something cold and final settle in my chest. Cara, I say quietly, we should discuss this privately. No, Greg. Maddie's 17. She's old enough to understand that sometimes families have to make difficult changes. What if I don't want to live with you? Maddie asks. Cara's composure slips slightly. What do you mean? I mean, what if I want to stay here with Dad? This is my home, my school, my friends, my life. Why should I have to give all that up because you decided to cheat on your husband? Maddie, that's not fair. There's more to this situation than you understand. I understand plenty. I understand that you lied to Dad for months. I understand that you embarrassed our whole family, and I understand that now you want to take me away from the one parent who has actually been taking care of me. Your father hasn't been taking care of you. He's been going through the motions while I've been building a future for this family. By stealing money? I ask quietly. Cara goes very still. What did you say? I pull out copies of the bank documents Troy gave me. I said, by stealing money. From joint accounts, from client escrow funds, from our marriage. Should I go on? I don't know what you think you found, but I know exactly what I found. I also know about the lawyer, the custody plans, the lies you told about me being an unfit father. Did you really think I wouldn't find out? Cara's mask finally slips completely. You don't understand the pressure I've been under, the sacrifices I've made to keep this family afloat while you played teacher and pretended everything was fine. So you decided to steal from me and plan to take my daughter away? I decided to protect myself and Maddie from a future of mediocrity. By committing fraud? By being realistic about what we need to survive. Maddie stands up abruptly. Stop it. Both of you, just stop it. We both turn to look at her, and I'm struck by how much older she looks than she did a week ago. Mom, I don't want to go with you. I don't want to leave my school, or my friends, or my dad, and I definitely don't want to be part of whatever plan you've been making with your boyfriend. Maddie, you don't understand. I understand that you think Dad's not good enough for you. I heard you say it in that recording. But you know what? Dad's the one who helps me with homework. Dad's the one who drives me to school when I'm running late. Dad's the one who listens when I have problems. What do you do besides work and check your phone? Cara's face crumples. I've been working to build us a better life. You've been working to build yourself a different life. There's a difference. The silence that follows is deafening. Finally, Cara speaks in a voice I barely recognize. Fine. You want to stay with your father? Stay. But don't come crying to me when you realize that good enough isn't actually good enough. She turns and walks toward the stairs, then pauses. I'll be back tomorrow to get my things. After that, you can both figure out how to manage without me. After she leaves, Maddie and I sit in the kitchen, listening to her moving around upstairs. Dad? Yeah? Are we going to be okay? I look at my daughter. Smart, brave, loyal Maddie who chose our imperfect life over her mother's perfect lies, and realize that we already are. Yeah, kiddo, we're going to be better than okay. The next morning, Cara loads her car with suitcases and boxes, while Maddie and I watch from the kitchen window. She doesn't say goodbye, doesn't look back, just drives away like she's leaving for another business meeting. But this time, she's not coming back. 2 weeks later, I get a call from Rebecca Patterson. Cara tried to hire another lawyer, but word has spread about the financial irregularities. No reputable firm wants to take her case. Troy calls me that same day. The district attorney decided not to press charges against him in exchange for his cooperation in documenting Cara's financial schemes. He's moving back to his hometown, starting over with a clean slate. What about Cara? I ask. Last I heard, she's working at a car dealership in the next county. Turns out real estate agencies don't like hiring people with reputations for mixing business with pleasure. Justice, it turns out, sometimes serves itself. 6 months later, Maddie and I have settled into our new normal. She's thriving in her senior year, already accepted to 3 colleges. I'm still teaching algebra to kids who think TikTok is a career path, but now I also coach the math team and help run the school's financial literacy program. The divorce was finalized last month. Cara got her freedom and a small settlement. I got the house, primary custody of Maddie, and the knowledge that sometimes the best revenge is simply living well. On a Saturday morning in spring, I'm in the backyard working on that tree house I promised to build. Maddie comes out with 2 cups of coffee and settles on the porch swing. Dad, you know I'm 17, right? I don't actually need a tree house. It's never too late to build something that lasts, I tell her, echoing words I said to Cara months ago. Is this about Mom? No, I say, and I'm surprised to realize it's true. This is about us, about having a place that's just ours, where we can go when the world gets complicated. She's quiet for a moment, watching me measure and cut boards with the precision I bring to everything important in my life. Dad? Yeah? I'm proud of you. For how you handled everything, for protecting us. I'm proud of you too, kiddo, for choosing what's real over what looks perfect. That afternoon, we finished the frame of the treehouse together. It's not perfect. The angles are slightly off, and one of the support beams is a 1/4 inch too short. But it's solid, built to last. Just like us. As the sun sets, I sit on the porch swing and watch my daughter climb up into our imperfect treehouse, and I realize that Greg Blair, high school math teacher, divorced father, builder of crooked tree houses, has everything he needs. Sometimes the best revenge isn't getting back at the people who hurt you. Sometimes it's simply proving that you were worth more than they realized all along.